Hello friends, it's your good buddy Stub. Welcome to day 26 of the Cork NV 21 days of February for 2020 leap year. Today we're talking about Spanish wines. Let's jump right in, keep this short and sweet. So Spain is the third largest producing country in the world of wine. They have a 6-tier classification system there that's actually similar to the system in Italy. At the top of that is the DOP. At the bottom end of that is VDM. Now the bottom end wines are basically just table wines. It doesn't mean they're not great wines. They're just kind of regular average table wines. There's a labeling system though that actually does confuse a lot of people, and a wine can be labeled Crianza, Reserva, or Gran Reserva. So the Crianza, that's the first level on labeling. For red wines, they have to be aged a minimum of 1 year in oak. For the whites and rosés, they have to be aged a minimum of 6 months in oak. Now moving to the next step, we're looking at Reserva. So in Reserva, a red wine has to be aged for 3 years, a minimum of 1 year in oak, and a white or rosé wine has to be aged for 2 years, a minimum of 6 months in oak. Now we move to the Gran Reserva. Now these are wines that are going to be aged, and they're going to be more expensive just because of the time put into producing and holding them for release. So a Gran Reserva red has to be aged a minimum of 5 years, 2 of which have to be in oak and 3 of which have to be in bottle. On the white and rosé side, a wine has to be aged for 4 years, a minimum of 6 months in oak. How about that? Cool. All right, so grapes in Spain. There are over 600 wine grapes being grown in Spain. Probably the most important ones, the one you're going to hear about on the red side, are Tempranillo and Garnacha. And yes, Garnacha is actually Grenache, just the Spanish pronunciation. And then on the white grape side, Airen grape, A-I-R-E-N, is actually the most widely planted grape in Spain. It's used as a base for a lot of wines there. And of course, Albarino, which I think we talked about one day of this, talked about some Albarino wines. Cool. All right, let's get to the wines today. The first one I'm actually very excited about, and maybe for a bit of a nefarious reason, and I'll get to that in a minute. So this is the 2005 Bodega Los 800 from Priorat. Now what I want you to pay attention to here, friends, is this cork. So there, hopefully I can get this zoomed in well enough, is the top of the cork. You see we have some seepage of the wine to the top of this cork. I've given it a little smell already. I actually think this wine might be corked. And if a wine is corked, number one, you can tell from the cork sometimes, but you're gonna get a smell of like a wet newspaper, and I'm getting a little bit of that. But although it's not overbearing, let's go ahead and give this a taste though. Yes. All right, so this wine is corked. Yeah, wet newspaper, a wet dog, that's what you're gonna get on that. I'm getting a little fruit in there. It's gonna be a lot muted though, because of that. So that corkage it could be a faulty cork. It could have been the cork wasn't inserted properly. It could be any number of things. I mean, those are the two main things right there. It looks to me like probably a faulty cork. There was just a cell in there where more air got in and some of the seepage of the wine came out. Once again, if you have a wine that you think is bad or has a flaw, don't be afraid to taste it. Nothing in a wine, flawed or otherwise, is actually going to make you ill. So give it a taste to train your palate a little bit. It's always good even to taste not great things, so we know when things are actually great. All right, hopefully this next wine will be great. This is the 2005 Marques de Riscal Rioja Reserva. So the Reserva, we know that this was aged for, do you remember? Yeah, do you? It was aged for 3 years, a minimum of 1 year in the oak. All right, on this one here, I'm getting some dark fruits. I'm getting a little spicy note on there. Let's give it a taste. Okay, yeah, oh. Not super big on the fruit, wouldn't expect it is. Tannins are a lot smoother than I thought they might be. Kind of looking at this in the glass now through the light, maybe see a little bit of just a hint of brown around the edges, which means this wine is, you know, probably starting to get past its drinkability date. I probably would have opened this a couple years ago if I'd thought about it, but I didn't. Once again, it's a great wine. I'm gonna have it with some cheese or an appetizer night while I'm making dinner, and go from there. So there you go. All right, friends, thanks for joining me today. I'm actually kind of glad, and it wasn't intentional, that we opened a cork wine, so we could talk about that a little bit. No harm, no foul. Once again, why we're doing this, right? Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Happy Friday light, friends. Until tomorrow, be nice, be safe, and be happy. Cheers, friends.